welcome to My Miles Team Show. We are here to share with you today medical insurance and legal information. We hope that the information we bring to you will help you deal with these situations as they arise in your life. Today, we are sharing some legal information with you with our guest from the law offices of Lucas Magazine. We would like to introduce our first guest, Martin McQuisen, an attorney from the law offices of Lucas Magazine. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got your law degree, where you've got your law degree from, and how you arrived at Lucas Magazine?
Absolutely. Well, my name is Martin McQuisen. I'm kind of from here, just a little bit south from Palm Harbor. Went to high school at Palm Harbor University High School. After Palm Harbor, I went to Stetson University where I studied political science. After that, I ended up at Boston University where I focused on a master's in public health with a focus on health law. Following that, I ended up at Cooley Law School up in Michigan. And following graduation, I moved down here with my wife back to, I guess what I call my hometown, and joined the law offices of Lucas Magazine, and been practicing in the personal injury field since.
Nice, nice. So some of the questions that I think that we should probably address today for the public is what happens when a person is in an automobile accident as far as the first things they should do. So let's say we get into an accident. What are the first things that we should think about doing to protect ourselves as the person that's involved in this?
Well, one of the most crucial things right after a motor vehicle accident is to make sure that everybody's okay. After you checking up on your loved ones, the other driver, the other occupants of the other vehicle, once you check out everybody's okay, immediately call 911 and make the police come out. One of the crucial mistakes that unfortunately happens is when individuals don't call the police, because then you're dealing with the adjuster from the insurance company. Potentially the other driver might say that, hey, listen, it wasn't his fault or he didn't cause the damages. We hear the stories all the time, every day. And in order to protect yourself, it's very crucial to call 911, get the police officer on the scene to take down all the information of all the A, drivers, and B, all the occupants. And if there are any witnesses, it's going to be listed in that police report that is going to be generated by the police officer. Also, it's also helpful if you're the victim in that motor vehicle accident is to get that police report, because when the police come out, more likely than not, usually people get what's called a careless driving ticket, which will substantiate who's at fault in that car accident so that you're not wasting time and efforts of contacting the insurance company and arguing with them of who's at fault for the accident, when at least you got some leeway using that ticket that police officer might write in arguing your point. Hey, listen, I'm the victim here, and the other person's at fault 100% for that motor vehicle accident. So that would be step one. Secondly, very crucial is to take photographs of the accident scene, not just the damage to your vehicle, but the damage to the other vehicle, as well as the scene around where the accident took place. If there's a stop sign, if there's a light, make sure to take a picture of that. If there's any tire marks on the roadway, take a picture of that to kind of allow you to build your case. Because unfortunately, once you move those vehicles, the days go by, all of that evidence that could be used in your case is going to be gone, and you're not going to have that ability to come back and bring that back.
Very good. Thank you for that information. Let's say a person's involved in an accident that's on private property. Is there a difference in how the process is handled? If it's, say, in a parking lot of a public place, but yet, even though it's a parking lot of a public place, that is technically private property. I've heard there's some differences in how the process is handled. Could you share with us if there's a difference, and if so, what the differences may be, and if there's anything we should do differently?
For liability purposes, there really isn't a difference. However, what the difference is that number one step that's very crucial in getting that police out there. A lot of times, depending on what jurisdiction you're in, whether or not you're in Hillsborough, whether or not you're in Tampa proper, within the city limits. A lot of times police officers just don't have time to write up these large reports, so they try to kind of wave you off and make sure that everybody's okay, and if everybody's okay, to kind of just wave off and goodbye. But it's crucial to get that police officer to come out there and to at least write up a driver's exchange. That driver's exchange is going to have your information on it. It's going to have your vehicle information on it, as well as the person that you were involved with. It's going to also provide the insurance information that's going to be crucial for you to be able to call up the other opposing person's insurance company to get your car fixed, and secondly, if you are injured in that motor vehicle accident, in order for you to get treatment and to get compensated in the future for it.
So Martin, that brings up another question that I think is very important for the public to understand and know, is about if you're hurt and if there's medical treatment required. What are some of the rules and laws in the state of Florida, especially, that we need to keep in mind if we're in an auto accident and there are injuries? And it could be injuries immediately where you need to be transported, or let's say you've realized later that evening or the next day that you feel injured or you feel hurt and that you feel like you need some medical attention. What are the things we need to look at there as far as following the law so that we get the protections we need as the injured individual?
Florida passed, I think 3 years ago now, was the new PIP, the PIP law, Personal Injury Protection. PIP in Florida has been in place since the 1970s, so it's not a new phenomenon. But 4 years ago now, they changed up the law requiring people that are involved in a motor vehicle accident to treat within 14 days after a motor vehicle accident in order for them to be able to use their own personal injury protection benefits. It doesn't matter if you were at fault for the accident or whether or not you were a victim in that car accident. You're still eligible in the state of Florida to get up to $10,000 in medical benefits or lost wages up to, at 60% of whatever that you're making. So it's crucial within those 14 days to seek medical treatment. So the medical treatment can be a chiropractor, can be a nurse practitioner, can be your medical doctor. But a lot of times what we see is a lot of times people call up their primary care physician and they're told by their doctor, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I don't get involved in that type of business. So what happens at that point is they're going to have to call up a chiropractor or some other physician that's going to be able to get them seen within those 14 days. And that also does include if you do go to the hospital, that counts for your 14 days, and you're able to get those benefits, which are crucial. Unfortunately, medical bills these days are extremely high, and it's critical for people to go get seen within those 14 days so they're eligible to get the treatment that they need and get that treatment that they need to get paid for it.
And the treatment just needs to start within the 14 days. They just need to make that first initial appointment with a physician, correct? A chiropractor, nurse practitioner, or someone, right?
Correct. Not just an appointment, but they have to be seen within those 14 days. Absolutely.
Correct.
And that does involve, there's some case law out there that does state that if, for example, you are treated at the scene by EMS, that does qualify as well as within those 14 days. Because one of the things that happens that we see in our practice is people want to tough it out. They want to tough it out. Hey, listen, my back or my neck hurts the next day after a motor vehicle accident, and they think it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. Well, 3 weeks go by and it didn't get better, and now you're stuck without your personal injury protection benefits, and you're kind of out of luck in getting treatment paid for by your own insurance company. Hopefully, I mean, we just had in the legislature, there was a push for a mandatory BI, which some people don't understand that Florida has no requirement of somebody to have mandatory bodily injury coverage. So for example, I could be standing next to a mailbox and a driver comes plowing down the road, takes me out, takes the mailbox. The state of Florida requires that driver to have coverage to replace that mailbox, but unfortunately does not require any coverage whatsoever to help me pay for my medical bills if I broke a leg in that accident or whatever the case may be. And it's very unfortunate. The legislator in this past session tried to pass a mandatory BI in both the House and the Senate, but unfortunately it did not pass.
So those are some important points that we bring up that the community needs to keep in mind when we are involved in accidents such as this. Martin, what would you say kind of helps keep you standing out apart from some of the other attorneys or in your practice or in this field, other than your lovely socks here?
Those are nice socks.
Those
I
are
was
very
looking at
nice
them
socks.
just a second ago. I'm like, I need a pair of those socks.
So we definitely will know Martin by his socks. But what would
That's
you
right.
say is maybe a side to you with your clients that you deal with that makes you set apart from what the other attorneys or firms?
I mean, what we pride ourselves at Lucas Magazine is the fact that we take a case from the initial intake up to a verdict if the case ever does go further. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are involved in the personal injury field but have never ever in their life filed a lawsuit, and I think that could have some disadvantages for them when dealing with adjusters. So one thing that we pride ourselves on, our firm does the pre-suit and does the litigation, and we don't let off the gas. We push the insurance companies, and we don't allow them to get away without compensating these injured people for whatever their injuries may have been. Because, I mean, we deal with horrific accidents on a daily basis, and these people who have to undergo surgery are out of work for months at a time following the surgery, and at the end of the day, they need to be compensated for that. They need to be compensated for the fact of, hey, listen, they're not able to play with their children like they were able to play with their children before the accident. Unfortunately, we can't bring back those things in their lives, that ability to play with their kids, but we can at least get them compensated to at least make that process a little bit easier, possibly allow them to change their lives, because at the end of the day, an accident changes your life.
Absolutely.
And that's unfortunate, but we do what we can to help alleviate some of those issues and some of those pains that those people are going through in our community.
Well, thank you, Martin. That's some very good points to point out that, accidents do cause a lot of pain for people. And when you're first involved in them, I don't think people always realize what's going to happen to them down the road from the effects of the accidents that they are involved in. Sometimes, as you guys I know have dealt with your clients, that the injuries that seem minor initially end up being, lifelong changes in their ability to work and to earn a living and to, like you said, interact with their family and friends. So thank you guys very much. So we're getting ready to take a break. We're going to come back with Yvette Beamer. She is the paralegal, one of the several paralegals at the law offices of Lucas Magazine. She's going to talk to us a little bit about the paralegal side and about their foundation. They have a great foundation that supports the community, especially the veterans and first responders in our community. And we want to talk a little bit about that with Yvette when we come back from our break. Thank you.
81% of consumers search online before even setting foot in a store. We help you create a strong foundation for your digital reputation. We help build your online presence to improve search engine rank and make sure your business information is correct across the web. You could do all of this on your own, but why would you spend more than 300 hours a year working on this? You have a business to run. Save time and put our software to work for you.
Ever need a doctor after hours? Well, searching won't help. But what do? You could go to the urgent care or ER, but if only there was a better way. Introducing the MNO Plus card. No waiting rooms, no copay, no consultation fee, giving you 24/7 access to a doctor by phone or online. It's easy to get started with affordable plans starting at $15 a month for a family of 5. For more information, visit mnoplus.com today.
Hi, and welcome back to My Miles Team Show. Thank you for joining us again as we look into the segment of personal injury and personal injury protection. And we have with us today the law offices of Lucas Magazine. We are going to segue into speaking with Yvette Beamer. She is one of the paralegals at the law offices of Lucas Magazine. Thank you, Yvette, for joining us.
Well, Christy, thank you for having us. We're really happy to be here today.
Thank you. You're one of the paralegals, correct, at the law offices of Lucas Magazine?
I am one of many. We have very experienced paralegals in pre-suit and in litigation. And so I am honored to be part of that group, yes.
And as a paralegal, can you give us a brief idea of what paralegals, what part of this you're involved in the process of these cases?
Well, the attorney obviously, they advise us. We do not advise our clients. We help get them through the paperwork. We help support them, talking to them, learning about their case from intake even into litigation. So we're there as a support system, not only for the attorney, but for our clients. We make sure that we communicate very well with them, and we do work with the insurance companies directly. We're able to, it's definitely a very rewarding job because we're able to see, obviously, when somebody comes in and their life has been affected by a terrible, horrific accident or even a fender bender, their life has changed. So we're there to take them, transition them, communicate with the attorney, communicate with the insurance companies, and have a great outcome for them.
Great, that's good to hear, because I know in these situations people have to be scared what's going to happen, so I'm sure that they feel more relieved having different people in the firm taking care of them and walking them through this process, because I'm sure you're a great support system for these attorneys as well. Yvette, you are also a part of the Lucas Magazine Community Foundation, correct?
I am. We have a foundation in our firm. It was organized in October 2015. We kind of transitioned from another organization that we were very beneficial in helping, our veterans and our military. And then when that transitioned, Jeff Lucas and Jim Magazine said, listen, we love our veterans, we love our military, but we also would like a broader reach in our community. So what they have done is they created this foundation, and it's basically, its goal, its mission is set up to give back to the community for which we live and work. And not only do we help veterans, but we also concentrate on first responders, single parents, and children. So we have a broader reach in our community. And I'm first to say that I've been up close and personal for almost 14 years with the law offices of Lucas Magazine. And they are awesome. They give back, they help. And they do it through other organizations. They do it through individuals. We thank our partners that come along with us when we have an event. And that is the community. That is our business community. So without them, it would be hard. So it's a group effort. It's all hands on deck in our community. So I'm very proud to be on the board and be able to be a part of that, because we do give back, and we love giving back to our community.
That's great, and that's great that you do look at your community that you serve. And you guys do serve quite a vast community as well. You have several locations at Lucas Magazine, the firm itself. So that's great that you do give back to those various communities all throughout the Tampa Bay area. And your foundation was formed in October 2015, right?
That's right. It was formed in 2015, and we're completely 100% volunteer. There are no administration costs. Jeff Lucas and Jim Magazine, they encourage, they support, and it makes it a pleasure to volunteer for some of these things that we do for our veterans, military families, first responders, children, and our single parents. So we have a board. The board gets together, and whatever that we're doing, obviously we vet any organizations that we work with, and we go from there. We collaborate, we get together and see what is the needs in our community. We have people contact us. So it's ongoing, and we're happy that we're doing it.
And you've given back over $40,000, is that correct, since you formed your foundation?
Right now.
Back to the community?
Back to the community, fundraisers, giving back to first responders, children, single parents. There's definitely, our veterans is definitely something that we have given back to. So it hasn't gone to any one organization, but many. So
Yes.
that is the purpose of the Community Foundation, in that it's a community-driven and community vision and goal for our community.
That's
So,
great. I've had the privilege of being a part of some of the fundraisers and events that you guys had to fundraise money for these foundations and these different entities like the first responders and the military and the veterans. And it has been quite a phenomenal experience to be part of these activities. And I've also been part of some other nonprofits that you guys have donated some of the funds from your foundation to. So I can attest that you truly do reach out to the community and donate back to that community that you serve. And it is a pleasure to see the firm do that.
Thank you. Well, those events, first of all, our firm, we love having fun. And there's no doubt, obviously by Martin Socks, that we are very trendy and we're very in on what's going on. But for the most part, when you have an event and you're having people collectively come together to raise money, obviously to raise awareness for that particular organization and where their heart is, but also to have a good time and make sure that
Absolutely.
they know that, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to celebrate this organization, we're going to raise awareness for this organization, but most importantly, obviously, is when you get there, you're having fun, and people enjoy giving. They enjoy knowing that they can also be a part of a great mission or a greater mission, and just getting together, working together, and having a good time while helping somebody else. So yes, we have had some really great events. A lot of them are costume events, and he's dressed up a few times as some very good costume-oriented.
It's always a little embarrassing.
Yeah.
There's always some embarrassment for somebody.
A little bit of embarrassing fun, so that's great.
We love to embarrass Martin.
Well, someone has to be a part of all of that. That is
That's
correct.
right. Yeah, all of us girls are usually embarrassing Martin. So
Well, he's a great one to have around then. He's a good,
he is.
a good
He is.
highlight.
Yeah, we have fun. We enjoy it, and we have great business people that are on our board. So we want to make sure that the donations that come in, obviously there's transparency and accountability, and that's very important when you have an organization. And so
Absolutely.
I have to say that Jeff Lucas and Jim Magazine are top notch in this area, and obviously in the firm itself. We believe we're successful, and we believe in what we do. We believe in helping you if you've been in an accident, or if you have an organization that needs assistance or somebody, just give us a call. We're happy to help.
That's great. Thank you, Yvette, for sharing with us about the foundation. I wanted to highlight the foundation because, of course, it's July 4th, and it's a great time to highlight a foundation that does so much, not only for first responders and single parents, but also our military and our veterans. It's just an awesome time to put those two together, having July 4th time and the foundation that works so hard towards the military and our veterans, because that is such an important segment
It is.
of our population, because they have worked so hard for us that we have these freedoms to sit here today and to practice law and to get law degrees. I mean, in so many places, people don't have that opportunity in a lot of countries, and we're a blessed country, and
Yes, we
and
are.
we're blessed to have law firms and foundations such as Lucas Magazine giving back and reaching out to our community as well.
Well, we love our military, we love our veterans, and we love our community. We love you. And so, if we can help and be a big piece of the puzzle, then that's what we want to be. We want to, we thank our veterans, we thank our military and our families. Thank you for your service. We like to thank our first responders. Without them, our community is not safe, and because of them we are, and we feel safe in our community because
Absolutely.
of all that they sacrifice and give. So a special thank you to your family. We pray for you, and we support you. So.
And, we'd like to thank everyone for joining us today. Today is our first show from My Miles team, and we're hoping that we are bringing you some vital information in the areas of medical, insurance, and legal. Today we've talked about some legal aspects. We're very happy and grateful for the Lucas Magazine bringing us this information so that we can help the community understand what to do in an accident. I've worked with people in this field for nearly 15 years in the medical insurance and legal field, and none of us can know all the answers all the time. And so many times I run into people who don't know that they need to seek medical attention after an accident in 14 days. They don't know which type of people they can seek it from, that they can go to a chiropractor, that they can go to a nurse practitioner. They don't know when they go to their doctor and he says, I don't handle that. They don't know where they can go sometimes. So we want to bring all those types of information out to the community to educate you so that you're better prepared for when these things in life happen to you.
Well, and firsthand too, I've been in an accident, and sometimes when that happens, you're kind of like, oh my goodness, I've just been in an accident. So I would say, as a good rule of thumb, write these things down, put them in your glove box, so that way, because when things are happening, you've been hit, you know, you might not remember these things. So when you go to your glove box, you pull it out, obviously, you know, make a little list, and, you know, follow through on that list. It'll help you later on should you bring a claim. So it's just something to
be
remember.
prepared. Exactly, to be prepared in these
Be
cases.
prepared, absolutely.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Our next segment are going to cover insurance, as well as we're bringing some medical opinions and advice to you concerning some different medical issues that are arising in our lives. So join us weekly. We're going to be a weekly Tuesday show, and we're going to be bringing in guests, and we're going to discuss medical insurance and legal information. Looking forward to spending this time with you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.